Hello, friends and family, blog lovers, Berlin lovers, and everybody else. It is I, Luke, and it's time for my weekly vlog. I've got a couple cool things that happened this week. Actually, I keep thinking I'm not going to have anything else to blog about, and I don't make any plans, and then all of a sudden I find myself doing something that's totally blog worthy. So, this week, first of all, I went to Curry 36 and I got some currywurst. Curry 36, for those of you who don't know, is the most famous currywurst place in all of Berlin. I don't think it's the original. I don't know, but anyway, there was a line, as there usually is, and the currywurst was actually pretty good. The difference between good currywurst and disgusting currywurst is actually kind of subtle. But, I mean, I liked it. The best part was probably the fries, pommes mayo. Mayonnaise, they put mayonnaise on it, and I really like that. Another thing I did was I went to see Torn Curtain, which is a Hitchcock movie from 1966 with Julie Andrews and Paul Newman, and part of it is set in Berlin. It's about the Iron Curtain, and I thought it would be great to go see it in Berlin because it's set in Berlin, and it's the first movie I've seen that's been set in Berlin since I got here. So I was really excited about it, and it didn't actually turn out the way that I hoped it would. First of all, the audience, they did not get into it. And you can't really blame them, but still they were making me angry, because the thing of it was, it's not actually filmed in Berlin, and a lot of the actors who had to speak German were American. So like over the loudspeaker at the University of Leipzig, every time anything was announced over the loudspeaker in German, the audience chuckled. It started to get on my nerves. I mean, it was obvious the person saying it was an American that didn't even probably speak German, was just like making German sorts of sounds, even though they weren't even right sounds anyway. So yeah, they chuckled at that, and then all of the exterior shots that were not, they were like matte paintings, they weren't actually Berlin. They chuckled at that. They got taken out of the movie entirely, because it was just, you know, back in a day when it wasn't, all Hollywood movies were not filmed on location, it was a lot more acceptable, but to this audience, they were so taken out of the story. When they went to the country, they said, that looks like Hanover. The people behind me were driving me crazy. That doesn't look like Berlin, that looks like Hanover. And I'm like, shut up. Anyway, there was a woman there, before the movie even started, in comes this middle-aged woman, and, you know, I'm thinking already, like, she's arguing with the woman that she's with, and I'm already thinking, great, she's one of those Hausfrau type women who's going to be telling everybody their business. And she was. She came and let me set this up for you. There's not a lot of people in the theater at this point, and there are two guys 3 rows ahead of me, sitting in the middle of the row, nobody else in the entire row, okay? So these 2 women come in, they go around over to this side, they walk all the way down this row, right next to where the 2 guys are sitting, and one of the guys has his coats in the seat next to him. And the woman says, Ist dies Platz hier noch frei? She's pointing to the seat right next to him, and she's like, is this seat taken? And he's like, no. And then she stands there and waits for him to move his coat. Now, this entire row is free on this side, it's free on this side, but she wants to sit right next to the guy. So he says something like, you know, there's a lot of free seats here. And she says, yes, but you can always put your coat over the seat in front of you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this lady. What else did she do that really irked me? I don't know. Anyway, it's not important. But she was like arguing with somebody else over something else. It doesn't matter. But she was obnoxious. Anyway, but a funny thing that happened in Berlin, in Torn Curtain, was, I don't know if you've seen this movie. You remember there's the Polish woman who wants the sponsors to get to America, and the Germans were not having that for some reason. They didn't like her. I don't know what was wrong with that. Anyway, but there's a scene where she takes Paul Newman and Julie Andrews to the Friedrichstrasse post office, and there's a bunch of people in line, and she goes up. They have to. It's very important that they meet someone at the post office. They're trying to sneak out from behind the Iron Curtain, and so it's like life and death. And so they go, and there's all these people in line, but they walk right up to the front of the line. And of course, this is the part that's realistic. People start complaining. They're like, "Hey, get back in line." And the woman says, "Please, these people are strangers here. They're Americans. Let's show them a little bit of our Berlin hospitality or whatever. And let's just be friendly and, something, blah, blah, blah." And the people in the line shut up. False. Never. That would never happen in Berlin. There would be a nuclear war before anybody would ever let anybody cut in front of them in line at the post office, especially a couple of Americans and a Polish lady. There is no chance in hell that would ever happen. It was completely unbelievable. Took me out of the movie too. There's like 10 people in line, and they all let these 3 people cut ahead for no particular reason. It would never happen. There would be a riot. There. So, yeah, that was my experience with Torn Curtain. It was painful. I was really mad at the audience the whole time. Anyway, so, I think I'm done, and I don't know how long it's been, but, my sister's coming on Friday. I can't wait for that. And, I hope you guys are having a great time in rubbishy old Bloomington, or Canada, or wherever else you are. Talk to you soon. Bye.